All right, so if you guys remember from earlier in the stream, I had asked where were people getting this idea, or where were they? Because I've had a few people come to my channel and say, "Oh, this game has themes of colonization. New World is all about colonization." It's cropped up a few times over the last couple of days, and I'm sitting there scratching my head, going, "What themes of colonization are there in this game? I don't get it. It's a mysterious island where, you know, shipwrecks land, and the people who land here, their souls get trapped in a never ending cycle where they can't die. There's corruption at the heart of the island, and there are some people who deliberately try to come here and take over that power. But what themes of colonization are you getting from this game? I just don't get it. So I just went and did a Google search, and I'm guessing this is stemming from this article, which is all the way back from 2019 from Polygon. It says Amazon's questionable MMO has you colonize the new world. And I'm like, at what point did this game ever have colonization as a theme? I played this game at launch, and there was no aspect of colonization. It was you're arriving on this island. There's different time periods on the island. There's, you know, pyramids and spheres, and it's like the island from Lost, right? And it's like you get here and there's just a bunch of corruption. There's the dryad creatures, and what do they call the angry earth faction. Like, I just don't get where these themes of colonization, where are these whack jobs coming from, is what I want to know, who are coming to my channel and claiming that New World is all about colonization and Amazon is a horrible company for having themes of colonization. Anyway, I found this article. I was looking this up while we were playing. Um, this is from 2019, February of 2019, which I think is like a full year and a half before the game even released, because I think it released in late 2021, as I recall. I don't remember exactly in 2021, to be honest with you. Team-based PvP survival game with elements of exploration, resource exploitation, and expansion. Um, this is hilarious. This open world adventure game teams with personality, teamwork, crafty combat, but it's perplexing and worse, problematic. Um, New World is a sanitized reenactment of the European colonization of the Americas and elsewhere. It's a manifestation of the great white fantasy of virgin territory and new beginnings. The game treads unwarily into a heart of darkness-like country of racist imperialism. Jesus, where do these people come from? Here's the setup. I'm a settler who's landed on the pristine shores of a new world. I own nothing, so I scavenge and I craft. I team up with others and build a settlement. I specialize in warfare and building and farming and manufacturing. And with my people, I defend a settlement from rivals. I wage war, killing them to take their homes and resources. The game is set in a fictional landmass in the Atlantic. The time frame is the mid 1600s, the same period as the first settlements by English colonists in North America. New World's colonists wear the sort of clothes and armor you might expect to see in a fictional account of 17th century Europe around the time of the Plymouth colony. This is what I was asking earlier, because we've seen some people running around with like the traditional like pilgrim attire. Um, in the player creation tool, which I have not seen, I'm told I can select from two genders and a variety of races. The geography feels like an imagined pre-colonized British America. Supernatural strangeness abounds. Ancient artifacts from a lost civilization. There are no indigenous peoples, and according to developer Amazon Game Studios, it's not about an invasion or America, except there are human-like creatures on this Atlantic shoreline, shuffling zombies called corrupted or withered. They have no identifiable cultures, but they are extremely hostile to settlers. And they aren't portrayed per se like the Wampanoag peoples that the Pilgrims encountered or the Algonquian-speaking civilizations of pre-invasion Virginia. But the game's lore says they are former settlers who have been corrupted by the island. I'm struck by how closely these semi-humans cleave to the exterminative view that the 17th century colonists held off of people they found in newly discovered lands. What the fuck is this, guys? This is like the biggest load of like brainwashing I've ever read. This is literally someone who is injecting a like they're injecting this racist agenda into the game. It's about zombies and the corrupt and lost souls who were here from shipwrecks. What even is this? European settlers discovered lands were forfeit because indigenous peoples did not display Euro-Asian style ownership and development, and the settlers came to believe that these lives were worth less. This is North America. The indigenous peoples were susceptible to common old world pathogens. To the white man, there was this evidence that these wretched men and women and children had been abandoned by God and marked by providence for extinction. Thus, they were the walking dead. And this video game seems to literalize this disturbing metaphor. During an interview with studio head Patrick Gilmore, I put a version of this notion to him, and he looked genuinely shocked. That's not been a focus at all. The lore of the game is that there's a tainted aspect to this world, that it's a Garden of Eden that has fallen from grace. But you could argue that this is precisely how 17th century Europeans viewed the New World. This game is undoubtedly a violent expression of 17th century Atlantic colonization and ought to be treated as such. It is made and will be played by the heirs of that colonization. Holy fuck, guys. Now, granted, this is from 2019, which is a few years ago, but this is the most ridiculous thing I have ever read. Oh my god. I'm scrolling here right now. This is mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. So the rest of this is just them reading about how they enjoyed their time playing the game. It says, despite this, says my own hypocrisy is at play here, because despite its grisly undertones, I find myself enjoying New World. I thrill at landing on Terra Incognita, surviving and then prospering. I slay the locals and rid the world of wild beasts. But then again, I've been raised to love tales of imperialist violence, from Stagecoach to Blood Meridian, from Zulu to Sacred Hunger. I've never escaped this taste for the mythology of mastering someone else's country. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I'm flabbergasted, guys. Like I'm truly flabbergasted. In the last 24 hours, I've had 3 comments of people coming to my videos and saying this game is all about colonization and Amazon Studios needs to burn at the stake. I'm paraphrasing, but how dare you play a game that has colonization in it? And I'm like, at what point is anything we've been doing, guys? We've been playing for, I've been playing since it launched, and I played this game at launch, and I've been playing Aeternum now. I am almost speechless, which you guys know me. I like to ramble and talk. This is crazy. They're literally calling shuffling zombies like they're calling them the indigenous, like, because they're former settlers. And wow, this is the biggest reach I have ever heard. This is gaming journalism, by the way, guys. This is what gaming journalism is these days. People just make shit up. Like, they just make shit up to fit their own little clickbait agenda. And granted, that's from 2019, which was, a year and a half or so before the game launched. But what even? Like, look at the picture. The only thing that I could take away from this is maybe because he's wearing like colonial attire. That's a zombie. Like you're not coming to these, like, literally the story of this game is you arrive on the beach, you got shipwrecked, you were coming here because of the power-hungry priest and Captain Thorpe, and they're here coming for the power at the heart of the island, which is this island which has traveled through time and has a magic power at the middle of it, and it's corrupted people. And then you get to the island and you're shipwrecked, and you're on the beach, and you find out that there's all these other people who have been shipwrecked here or arrived here because of other expeditions that came here seeking the power of the island. But at what point do you get colonization from that? Yeah, Arthur, this is exactly what woke is. So when people say woke, that is woke. That article was written by someone who is full on hook, line, and sinker. That's what when we talk about um, that is someone spinning up a story, a tale of colonization out of their own imagination, because it literally says there's no indigenous people in the article, and yet they are comparing the lost zombies and the lost sailors to indigenous people. That's literally they are inventing. Colin Campbell, I wonder if you're still employed by Polygon and what other things you've written. I'm not going to go into it right now, but that is probably one of the worst pieces of game journalism that I have ever read in my career. Holy smokes, guys. Holy smokes. Ah, I'm glad I went and found that because that was a truly fascinating read. Because we've been playing this game for, a few days now. And literally the entire premise of this, like, literally, who have we been doing quests with for, like, the last, like, all 8 hours of the stream today? Galahad, Morgaine, King Arthur, well, not Corrupt King Arthur, Corrupt Merlin. Um, Before this, we were working with the lady from the Roman Empire. Before that, we were working with the lady from like one of the Chinese dynasties. Um, like what? What? Like what? Like Galahad, King Arthur, Morgaine, King Arthur. What? What? Exactly, Wasteland Chief. That was literally how Warcraft, Lord of the Rings Online, Star Wars: The Republic, every game has you go gather resources, harvest things, scavenge for ore and timber, and like every single survival game, every single MMO of all time has you gathering resources to build your defenses and to equip gear on your character to, you know, it, what? 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 Uh? Like you could literally describe every single video game of all time. Bogdanovic says if this was a sci-fi skin, we would get the same article. I doubt it. Yeah. This is. Oh man, they should do a review about Dark Souls. Wow, I don't think I've ever read anything that's more imaginative in my life. No, everybody. New World is not a colonial game. It has no colonization in it. It's literally, if you've ever seen the show Lost, that's what this island is. It's an island that has traveled through time with a power source at the center of it that corrupts people who are looking for magic, and people are trapped here and they can't die. That's literally as deep as it is. Like I think they literally just looked at the outfits and went, oh, "Pilgrims, they're gonna take over the new world." I love the fact that in the article they tried to call out the game director and he looked. They said he sounded astonished or whatever, and was like, "What? What are you talking about? We're not. That's not what we're developing here." Holy crap. Well, that was entertaining at the very least.